Purity culture destroys self-esteem and relationships. In our episode of Drop the Stones that came out this week, we're talking about trad lifestyles, trad wives, trad husbands, and what it's about. And this whole ideal that the evangelical world puts forward on how young men and young women are to be brought up and what their goals in life should be. And as Candy addressed so eloquently in the episode, that the woman's role in a relationship is your job is to be a wife, a homemaker, and a mother. And that's it. That's your only goals and aspiration in life. And that you need to take care of them aspects of life, and the physical part of the relationship never gets addressed. And it never gets taught about because it's too taboo. It's too dangerous. And if anything is ever taught about it, it's don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then once you get the wedding ring, let's go free for all. Let's have at it. And it reminded me of something like when we deconstructed from the faith, we both were very pure in the mouth. We didn't swear. We didn't use foul language. We didn't go blue in our speech. And as we were beginning to deconstruct, we started realizing we had some freedom in how we wanted to say things. And it wasn't just one day as we don't believe anymore, so let's start ripping out all the expletives that we want. We didn't flip a switch. It was a gradual, slow test in the waters. And it got to a point where eventually we can weave tapestries of vulgarity with no problem whatsoever and really express ourselves in any which way with no limits and complete freedom in that. That's one example where it actually worked out, where we could kind of move on, but it definitely wasn't a flip switch. But a lot of people want to expect in a relationship that this switch can just be flipped easily in the physical aspect of a relationship, from going from no, 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 no to yes, 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 yes. And it never happens. It doesn't happen. It's just a weird thing that when you're taught this as being awful and the worst thing ever, and your God's going to punish you with eternal damnation if you step out and don't ask for forgiveness later and have a physical relationship with someone before you're married, then all of a sudden, just because you got this ring and you said some words before a pastor and God himself, now it's all right to do it. It's tough. And there should be a process of growing and experimenting, but it's not taught that way, because women are taught that this isn't something that should be natural to them, really, that it's more of the man's thing. The man is completely turned on 100% of the time, all the time, and that he's ready to go, and you just have to be willing and ready whenever, listen to him when he wants it. That's it. And there's no communication or anything like this. And it destroys relationships, because this ideology that's being taught that men are 100% sexually active and ready to go, and women are the slow cooker on the thing. Men are the microwaves, women are slow cooker type analogy that we always heard. And it ruins self-esteem too, because now a woman can't just automatically flip that switch and be ready to go, and can't experience happiness or pleasure from this either, because they're looked at in a different way. But men are supposed to be on this 100% of the time, not realizing that as age and everything moves on, that a lot of times that drive drops and it destroys their self-esteem. And something I can probably speak more to here is, I look back at what my energy levels were in my 20s and late teens, and I couldn't hold a candle to that today. And I remember being in the faith and just expecting I have to be, this is my identity, and the relationship is that I need to have this all the time. And there was nights where I just wanted to go to bed and sleep. And it wasn't anything about attractiveness or anything like that. I was just tired and I had no drive. And it brought some guilt and shame onto me and my relationship, because what was wrong with me? Why was I broken? Why wasn't I completely, and not understanding that sometimes, as men get older, that drive just drops. And it's a natural process that comes along and happens. But I had to deal with that and my self-esteem and realize that, no, this is natural. It's all right. You still have that drive a little bit in there, but nowhere near what you were before. But that's just the way things should be. And just looking back and seeing how much this destroys us, because the woman can't feel like she can flip this switch at any time, and if she tries something new or becomes an aggressor or a dominant partner in this where she's suggesting things, then she's looked at in a shady way as, oh, what's wrong with you? Why you're doing this? But if a man has lack in desire or just starts losing some of that desire and drive, then what's wrong with him? There's something obviously wrong, because all men are like this. And when you hit this philosophy of all men and all women, and there's no in between, and they can't cross paths, and desires are all the same across the board, and you hold that as truth, it destroys people's outlooks on themselves when they vary differently from it, which inevitably they're going to do, because no one's the same. Everyone's different. So when you start seeing this and realizing this and growing from it, and can break away from these black and white systems and ideologies of this is how everything is, all women, all men, but understand that I'm a unique woman, I'm a unique man, and I have my own drives and desires and wants and needs and everything else, and that's perfect for me. And then we can communicate that in a relationship and figure out where we go from there together, then things work out well. But when you stay in the black and white and try to say everyone's the same, it's going to destroy your self-esteem, it's going to destroy your self-worth, it's going to make you question everything about yourself, which is going to make that relationship fail in the long run.